thank you for coming today. And actually, I want to start with, I will share my computer in a few minutes, but well, all of those ciphers and algorithms, and I do feel, let's say, I do relate to this, to the whole thing in here because of a simple thing, because I was a hacker. I was a hacker, well, maybe the company is still based on the hacking skills, but I was a hacker before the hacking techniques and those things, the black hat, white hat was really made. Well, quite a bit after World War II, but I can definitely tell you that being a hacker and crack so many things on your own and building your own code and bypass anything that you just can imagine 20 years ago, it was pretty much, back in the days, it was mission impossible, but we made it very possible. And being a hacker wasn't really, it wasn't really named a hacker, but when you get to do so many things like, let's say, from Google and Facebook awards, Tesla awards, to go to even before being like the woman version or the female version of Robin Hood. So it was really, really nice, like to hack some things, to get it, and then to spread it away to my friends because I could, and it was easy. So this is my background. I actually started as a hacker, black hat attacker or black hat hacker, and after I was invited once to the Black Hat in Vegas, I was underage, and I didn't go, but it was really, really nice to get this, pretty much the email of, hey, Mrs. Kollender, you are invited to the Black Hat to have a pitch about something that something very famous back in the days that I hacked. So let's say when you are in Israel at the age of 18, you must join the army, okay? So pretty much everyone, unless you have kind of disabilities or something, some limitations. And when I joined the army, I started actually not even as my computers and in my skills. I started as a fighter pilot in the fighter pilot course. It was amazing. And actually, a week and a half ago, took a flight with a Stearman Boeing from 1942. It was in DC. I was like, from F-16 to go to this, like it was so simple and back to the basics all the time. You see how simplicity used to solve so many problems back in the days. And, but after let's say during the course, I was pretty wood and I wanted to do it my way. It's like my way or no way, and zero patience for people like me. So then I was navigated or kicked off from being a fighter pilot to the computer unit. And I'm pretty sure that you all know pretty much like 8200 and those units, special corps in terms of intelligence. And it was pretty nice, like being part of, in this stage, they saw my skills and they said, okay, no more helping to your pocket. Right now, you're going to help everyone else's, like your own country. And it was amazing to see how from doing things to my own, or on my own, and helping, me and my friends, I became like, maybe, I'm pretty sure that you saw like things like with the Mossad and other famous things like MI6, MI5, etc. And I'm pretty sure that you know, those movies, maybe there is some things that they've made, but they are based on a reality. And that is something that was so special to me, like to see movies and then realize that, oh, there is some kind of truth in those movies. And yeah, so this is what we mainly did in the army. I helped my country for a few years, and then I was allocated and okay, I finished the army in a good way. And then I was allocated to help my country in the defense forces, and then afterwards in some financial and many places. And one of the most important thing was not only to help them, but I was writing my own code. Today, many people know that you have so many products and so many solutions for so many things, but some of the things are still being done manually or semi-automatically. One of the major points of the big thing that we saw, actually it was August 6 years ago, when I first started Gytpol on a piece of napkin in a pub in Tel Aviv with I would say some beers, okay, not like you guys. I mean, your capacity is way more than me, that's for sure. But after that, I just took a piece of napkin and a pen, and I drew in a very ugly way Gytpol. This is not my skill. But when Gytpol was created, it was created from the first thing to prevent human errors and to make sure that we go back to the basics, because people and organizations are running away to so many new things. I mean, whether it is now the cloud and the SASE and so many things, so many new technology, which is good. I'm not saying don't do it. But what I say is that before people are going and, chasing after the future, or that just stay in the present, or, close the gaps that you have from the past, because they are still the main thing in today's world. And when I say the main thing, I mean misconfigurations and on the device level. And I really want to also to connect it to even ciphers and poor ciphers. Believe it or not, even today, and I'm going to be a little bit techie, so in case you do not understand, talk to Jake and Toby, and they can simplify it. But even today, when you log in, let's say that you have an Active Directory, some kind of identity. When you log in to your on-prem or to the cloud, there are some ciphers that when you enter your password, whether it is a 2FA or whether it is username and password in your Active Directory, there is some kind of poor ciphers that are very hackable, believe it or not. Again, this is one of the things that we really love to do, to find the new things in the darknet, to find a new thing ourselves, because we can hack to those things, because in the Gytpol, we are all about, device misconfiguration and think like an attacker, because if you don't think like one, you will never be able to beat one. That's our approach. And then we said, okay, there are so many systems these days that give you indicators to so many things. And again, not only that you need to look on those indicators, you need to solve them or to resolve them or to do something about them. And again, even if there is some kind of a tool to provide something to you, you need to use your analytics, your ads, Google, ChatGPT, whatever it is, to help you resolve it. And it's not let's say, good all the time. So I'm going to show you some examples so you will understand how easy it is to auto-remediate many things without an impact. Even poor ciphers that are so easy to see your credentials and everything that you have on the, let's say, on your device, or even that goes, of course, from your device to the network to the backend. So I will connect the screen. Okay, good. So I'm going to stand here now, so that's okay. Now the beauty is over there. So what I really want you to know is misconfig is everywhere. I know it's a bit hot. I don't know if for you as well, so, but it is, believe it or not. In Israel, it's even cooler than that, that's for sure. Right now in Gytpol, we resolve all of the misconfigs on something, again, the device misconfiguration, which is the human errors and default settings, okay? These are the main things that we know how to address. Some 0 days as well, but I will talk about it in a minute. But on Windows, Linux, and macOS, of course, if you have a Windows and if you have Active Directory, we even show you the gaps in your Active Directory and in your domain controller. And we do have some standards like benchmark. Everyone says CIS or NIST, okay, CIS, NIST. Everyone wants to have like their own, or they try to align to standards like CIS and NIST. And guess what? Yes, also, even if you are aligned by CIS, you are not protected. You are not 100% protected. You can still get attacked and you can still move laterally. You know, one of the things that I hear very often, I'm pretty sure that everyone has something that is called antivirus, right? I mean, EDR, okay, next generation. And one of the things that I hear all the time is that if you have an EDR or like the EDR, DLP, whatever it is, if you have the combination, so EDR companies that tell you, you are 100% protected, no worries at all. I mean, you will never get an attack. And time after time, and even I won't name here EDR companies, but I'm pretty sure that you know a few. All of them, even if you have them, all of them, okay, that you still get attacked. Because even for an attacker, for attackers like me, like others that are way more sophisticated than me, they can bypass any EDR in the market. They can bypass and they can move laterally without anyone to see, abusing misconfigurations, because that's what they do the best. That's what attackers, and again, I go back to the basics. That's what attackers used to do, and that is what attackers do today, okay? Yes, they know how to bypass any EDR in the market, so don't think that if you have it, you are safe. On the other hand, you must have it, okay? So it's not, it's not that. Okay, I really want to show you something, because speaking about ciphers, and I will start with this. Let's see if I will have it here. Well, I won't start with the desk, I will start with the endpoint. Okay, and sorry, it's my internet, because usually I do not do the wireless. Think about why later, but well, let's talk about one of the about one of the ciphers that we call it as the name of DES. DES is one of the poorest ciphers that everyone with an Active Directory probably have. And it is enabled by default. Again, remember, those poor things, hackable things, can be attacked and can be, again, let's say, very easy to move laterally, abusing those things. So in this example, you can see that in Gytpol, it's not enough for us to tell you if it is enabled or not. Because many organizations, they still have some legacy issues. They still have some things that you are not really sure if they use it. Let's go back to 1942, okay? Well, the German, they had their own cipher, but let's say that they are now changing the cipher, right? They need to make sure that each and every person or each and every of their soldier knows the new cipher, because if they know only the old one, they won't be able to manage or to make a better cipher. And they still have some legacy. So in order to make sure that at least you manage or maybe shrink your attack surface, at least know that you have this before you go. And when I say go, I mean let's remediate. Finally, let's take care of those things. So back in 1942, the no before you go, probably the go was to kill them, but here the go here is to eliminate and remediate the DES. And when I say remediate, you can have just a simple button to decide if you want to remediate any DES that wasn't in use on a single device, group of devices, how to shrink your attack surface in such an easy way, like a click away. That's all. And of course, by the way, role-based access control, okay, this is way more than simplicity, but it's like, I really want you to see that we go back to the basics. When you want to resolve or address something, today, in many cases, you need to do it manually or semi-manually, and to work so hard. True story. I talked to one of the Fortune 20. They have like approximately 500,000 devices. And one of the things that I show them, going back to the ciphers, I'm going to show you the second demo. It is more data, but let's say a bit more old. One of the things that everyone wants to address today, again, talking about ciphers, is TLS version 1. TLS version 1 is if you go HTTPS, okay, so it's like there are some a way to encrypt it. So TLS version 1 is very, very old. You can see here that TLS version 1 is in use. Not only that, we can see exactly who used it. And I'm pretty sure that everyone knows Microsoft and everyone knows Teams. Believe it or not, Teams of Microsoft, okay, they use TLS version 1 by default and 1.1, unless you disable it. Again, I don't want to be too techy, so I'll try again to go high level, but it is very important that everyone will understand that it is very important to know the things like TLS, like RC4, like SMB, so many things that everyone wants to remediate, but they are too afraid, they are too scared to do it. Because if they will do it, they will break something. And if they will break something, the fire is on them, or the finger is on them. What have you done? What did you do? Oh my God. So in Gytpol, we made an easy way not only to remediate and auto-remediate, we can also revert and bring it back to the misconfigured state. So it is so easy now that you can see everything on a click of a button, you can remediate it, and you can revert in case of needed. I really want to leave some, let's say, some time for questions. So I will talk about the last example and how we calculate those things with money eventually, and how we calculate it with time. I will go, it is the old demo, yeah. I will go to some major pain, which is Log4j. Log4j, like other 0 days, okay? Again, it's not only Log4j, but Log4j is like the example that I will speak about today. So Log4j was a critical 0 day. It was very hard for organizations to address, to resolve. And believe it or not, until today, organizations are still struggling with Log4j. Mainly organizations that they don't really know that it is installed on end-user devices, and they have legacy applications that need the old Log4j, and they don't want to do anything, and it is out of support. So in Gytpol, we managed the way not only to remediate without an impact, because we don't download the latest version. We absolutely don't do something like that. We just want to fix it again with a single or 2 lines of code. That's what we did. In fact, Apache, the owner of Log4j, they adopted our solution and took our solution, and now it is, well, to be honest, it is in the 2.17.1 version, which is the unvulnerable version of Log4j. We managed to do it within hours, and we just released the version to all of our customers and even to some, let's say, it was a better way for us to POC to customers because they loved it, and then they become a customer. And it was so easy because if we can do something and address some 0 days, remember, we look in the dark net all the time, we see the new things, and whatever that you know today as a 0 day was created probably months to years ago in the dark net and is abused by them. So it is very important to know that whatever we do here with Gytpol, we try to do everything without an impact to close things so fast, and then remember that everything that you do costs you time, and time equals money. This is the last thing that I'm going to show you, and then questions. But this is our measurement of return on investment. So you see here that we saved 7 weeks from all over those topics, and I can go down and see how many computers remediated, how many remediations actually have been made, and we didn't try to exaggerate. So for example, like anything is between 2 to 5 minutes, because I will always find the sophisticated people that will say, I can do it in 2 minutes. Okay, you know what, so do we in 2 minutes, so that's all. We are not trying to be like, to say everything will take you hours or days. No, we did it on purpose because we want you to see how easy it is to save time, and we can just justify it with time equals money. So, any questions? I'll pause it. Yes.
It sounds brilliant. I know there will be a difference, but I just wonder what the difference is between this and something like a Nessa scan or a penetration test. Obviously, the self-remediating, but what else makes a difference? So our team will run a Nessa scan and then work through those results manually. So I love the idea of using something like this to solve that, but is there a difference between those products and the kind of output you get?
So actually last week, I talked to Amit, the CEO of well, not Nessus, but the company who acquired Nessus. Oh my God, Tenable, yeah. So, and he said that he wants to collaborate with Gytpol because I don't know if you saw, there was a post of the CISO of AB and Bev. I believe it was him or other one, but he replied that those tools like Nessus, Tenable, and others, they are mainly for visibility. So it's not that you can do, I mean, it's like another report, like Pentest. You get a nice report. What is the next step? And the next step is you need to work so hard in order to address it without an impact. And what we do is we said, okay, enough of the visibility. And we are not, it's not that we are replacing Tenable because it's not that they show you like a missing patch of missing patches, okay? But we do have, if we will take the ciphers and the SMB, not Log4j, but if we'll take other things, you will see that they are vulnerable as well because of, because of SMB v1 is absolutely not supported, etc. But one of the things that you need to understand is that it is misconfigured because it comes by default on the operating system, Windows, Linux, Mac OS, believe it or not. And that is why misconfiguration, yes, it has some, let's say, shared area with Pentest, with vulnerability assessment. But we really want you to take some action from here without any impact and without involving, oh, now I need to talk to the endpoint, to this, to do the GPO, to do the Intune, to do the Nessus, Tenable, I mean, or to go to Chef Puppet and to try to manage everything. We want you to get like a very wide range of see all of the problems, okay? Now address them, and you can even select what are the areas and what are the topics that you really want to focus on, and you can see only your own dashboard with the things that you want to address. So it is really important. This is why we really want to, well, it's not that people buy Gytpol or Nessus, okay? People put Gytpol on top of Nessus because we resolve their issues. So that's mainly what we see here. And, thank you.
Any more questions? Something way around, the long way.
Yeah, thanks, Tal. One of the things I thought it might be worth talking about is how this sits alongside, augments, or replaces possibly tools like SCCM. If you could maybe explain a little bit about where this obviously wins over pure SCCM environments. I think that might be useful.
So if it is SCCM, and again, I can talk about many like SCCM, PDQ, Tenable, Tenium, and the deployment software. These are very good software for config management and for deployment, okay? We never aim to replace a deployment software because we are not a deployment, and we need to use really what we call like a real hack in order to deploy, in order to do like a proper deployment, by the way. Well, I won't get into this right now, but yeah, in order to have a proper deployment that you need probably, so you need permissions, you need to go to some tricky things. But we really wanted to be, okay, so SCCM is probably the tool that can deploy Gytpol. And funny enough to mention some of our customers, so all of our customers probably have some deployment software, but even, let's talk about, so we do have even customers from the security side, like Checkpoint, okay? Let's talk about Checkpoint. And they use Gytpol on a daily basis. They are not the only one, but they are the main one because they speak so highly of Gytpol. And the CISO now he took another role, but so he loves it. He loves it because it shows him all of his problems. And that is why he said that it is so complementary to the toolsets. And Checkpoint is not a company that buys so many products. I mean, this is their concept. And then another thing, if I go back to the SCCM, so Checkpoint, they do have everything, okay? But they do use as well SCCM in order to deploy Gytpol. Then, yeah, they use, let's say, less configuration from SCCM and they put it in Gytpol because they get to see so many things in Gytpol. But from the deployment side, you must have some kind of deployment. So we are absolutely, let's say, We see that more and more overhead from the SSCM is moving to Gytpol, okay? But the deployment is still on whatever it is, because we must have, again, small thing, non-service on the device. So that is why we still need it in a way. Thank you.
Any final questions? Anyone going to have?
Just a quick one.
Yep.
Can you talk about Gytpol and how they're able, well, and what additional values brought around the current security hardening of group policy objects, and what the gaps are around that in a live environment?
So yes, many organizations today, they still have something that we call group policy. Okay, it's their way to harden mainly servers, and the next generation of the group policy is the Intune. So they do use it as well. So one of the things that we created is that today you have zero visibility, believe it or not, on your policy hardening. I mean, anything that you want to harden, you say, oh, no worries, I set it, or the IT says, the IT guy says that he did it already, and no worries, it is there. And then when you go to Gytpol, we do have a full section of policy validation that we can check for group policy today, and very soon the Intune. So you can see how easy it is just to do it, just to validate that even your policies, the group policies, in terms of the settings, is applied properly. And not only that, the last thing that I want to say is that if you want to make sure that even if you remove the policy, because believe it or not, Microsoft, they still have some bugs, but well, they are a partner of ours, so we love them, and we thank them for providing us lots of business. But eventually, if you think about it, just that's it. I mean, it is, even if you remove a policy or a setting, you don't know if they are removed properly from a device. Think about security-wise, operational-wise, anything that you would like, and everything can be seen in Gytpol, and of course can be fixed, because again, visibility is not enough today. So yeah, I see that I am right on time, and it looks like, yeah, okay. And thank you so much for everything.